Right, welcome to my fifth assignment. In this assignment, we are required to discuss the circular economy case study in hospitality. And in my case, I've decided to choose the design for disassembly out of the nine cards, the design cards, which were provided with the assignment. Let's start by explaining what a circular economy is again. The circular economy is a system where materials never become waste and nature is regenerated. In a circular economy, products and materials are kept in circulation through processes like maintenance, reuse, refurbishment, remanufacture, recycling, and composting. This is taken straight out of Ellen MacArthur Foundation website, so you can always visit that and see what it's about. Why I decided to go with design for disassembly is I find that it's an innovative approach to embracing the circularity idea, as well as in terms of the nine design cards that we'll go into in a minute. I think it supports sustainable practices because it starts with designing for it to be disassembled and then potentially recycled, reused, refurbished. It reduces waste and extends the life cycle of materials and products. The benefits are that there are cost savings because you don't have to keep remanufacturing, reproducing something and taking it out of the ground. So it's not just cost savings from a financial perspective, but it's cost savings from a material climate perspective. It reduces waste and it enhances the brand reputation. And I think as well, it directly supports two or more of the nine circular designs, which we'll see in the next slide. So the circular economy designed for disassembly in hospitality, these are the nine cards that we're going to look at. I won't go into much detail because there's not too much time to go through this, but on the left, you'll see that this is the design for disassembly. So here it's just specifying recycling, but in reality, as you go through cases, it's way more than that. It's recyclability, it's repair, because you can take it apart and fix parts of it and put it back together. So I think design for disassembly takes into consideration life cycle thinking as well. Repair and longevity and recyclability. Where it doesn't really get into or doesn't adapt or affect as much, I think, is from things like product service systems and dematerialization. So it's not about shrinking, let's say, or you could maybe down the road become a little bit more into that sphere of thinking, but it's not always the case. Sorry about my dog. Let's just pause. And it also supports modularity, which is the main point I'm going to get into. So in the Resolve framework, supports the regeneration of natural system because it ensures the materials can be easily recovered. It also embraces the share because it promotes sharing economy by allowing for the easy refurbishment. So when you take something apart and you can fix bits of it, then you're supporting that part. It helps with optimization of resources, can be used over and over because it can be disassembled and reassembled. And finally, it's a loop. So because of easier disassembly, you could keep materials in use much longer. Some examples of design for disassembly in hospitality. I've got three over here. One of them being the modular hotel made by Marriott. It's in New York, and it is every room is built off-site somewhere else. In this case, it's Poland, where they build the rooms in a modular case way, and then they ship them over to the States. Which, of course, of doing things they could have just manufactured in the States, but there must be business reason for doing that. And then they assemble it all and they stack it all as a hotel. In this case, it's Sixth Avenue and Nomad in New York. The other example is the Co-Hotel. So they have Co-Hotel is popular for the way that they're saving energy and energy waste through their panels. And I was thinking for this one, if we want to implement design for disassembly, they could consider that those panels can be recycled or removed and disassembled, recycled that way, or even fixed and put back, let's say, on another hotel or another building. And then the final one, which is one of my favorites, Qatar during the FIFA World Cup, 7 of the stadiums that they had there were actually erected and then disassembled within, I think, 8 months. It was amazing. So they never really used that space other than for a while, for during the event. And finally, so conclusions as to why I think design for disassembly is one of the better options is because it supports really pretty much almost all of Resolve's framework and the circular economy principles. There should be more research done on it. There isn't a lot. I only shared three examples, but there are way more examples. For example, I know mobile phones now have a right to repair. So Apple is one of the leaders in that. There's a company called HMD, which supports Nokia. Their whole thing is about going rights to repair. So same with Fairphone. So it's slowly coming in from other industries. And next steps would be, in my opinion, to understand if design for disassembly is an advancement or a stall or even a regression of progress, because of course everybody wants to progress, we want to move forward. So argue that, well, if there is no human race, then what's the point of progress? Anyway, that's it. That's my conclusion. Thank you very much for listening.